Hello everyone, welcome back to SkillDeck channel. My name is Richa. I'm back again with the next video and today is the part 2 of HR policies. Yesterday in the part 1 we have learnt about how to frame the policies for labor laws. The policies that's related with labor laws. And today we are going to frame the policies related to employee relations, how to have the policies that is related with performance management, the policies that is related with HR processes. That all we are going to learn in this today's video. So stay tuned. Let's now talk about different HR policies. In video number 1, we have learned the labor law policies, the policies that is linked to our labor laws and how to frame them, what is the standard template. Today, we are going to talk now about the other HR policies. Other HR policies, when I say, I mean employee relation policies, policies for organization culture, policies for employee protection, policies for fair treatment, policies for different HR processes, performance and development policies. These are the different other HR policies, except the policies which I have learned, which we have learned in video number 1. In a video number 1, we have learned that there are certain guidelines and rules that we have to always follow. That is, we should not write anything in paragraphs in the policy. It should be in a bullet format. The policy should have a revision date. Who has when it has been revised? What is the last revision date? Policy should have a policy number. Policy should have a policy title. It should start with the purpose and a scope. That remains the same here for the other HR policies too. Policy has to be fair, it has to be flexible, it should be, the policy should adhere to the changes whenever there is a need. That is the standard guideline and the parameter. Now we are going to see the different type of policies under each head we can frame, and then at the last we will be learning how to frame them, what is the standard template. So, under employee relation and organization culture, we have grievance handling policy, employee discipline policy, and we have already learned that it is related to our Industrial Dispute Act. Conflict resolution, employee engagement policy, code of conduct, workplace bullying and harassment policy, employee recognition and reward policy, workplace accommodation policy, employee feedback and communication, employee well-being, workplace culture and value, team building and social activity policy, workplace inclusion, diversity, mentorship and coaching policy, remote work and flexible work arrangement policy, work life balance policy, leadership development policy, and CSR policy. In employee protection and fair treatment, whistleblower, EEO, substance abuse, fair treatment in disciplinary actions, employee privacy, these all policies are for fair treatment. For HR processes, for each process of HR, we can frame the policy. Like for recruitment and onboarding, recruitment and selection policy, onboarding policy, background check policy, internship policy, apprenticeship policy. For compensation and salary, that's already linked with the labor law, considered in the HR processes too. Benefit and perk policy, bonus incentive policy, travel and expense reimbursement policy. For training and development policy, succession planning, career development policy, mentorship policy, coaching policy, L&D budget policy, leave policy under leave and attendance and punctuality policy, remote work policy, public holiday policy. For termination, we can keep exit interview, final settlement, termination of employment, salary review under compensation management, pay equity, pay parity, compensation benchmarking, baselining, commission incentive structure policy. For HR audits, your internal, you can have an internal audit policy, regulatory compliance policy, and for communication and information sharing, information dissemination policy, internal communication policy, social media policy. And for employee retention policy, bonus policy, satisfaction policy, survey policy, for benefits, employee discount, retirement, organization change, adaptation resilience policy, organization restructuring policy, change management policy. For PMS, you can have a PMS policy, performance review policy, 360-degree feedback, PIP policy, recognition reward policy, skill assessment gap policy under PDP, talent management policy, leadership development policy, cross training. You can have some general policies like remote work policies, that is for the employee satisfaction.
feedback policy, continue improvement innovation policy, feedback collection policy. So these are the different type of policies what you are able to see on your screen. These are good to have. It's not mandatory that you need to keep all the policies. No. What is required to you as an organization, under these heads you can pick up and you can frame the policies. And out of that, like for HR processes, so definitely you should have the policies. And rest all whatever I have shown you, what you feel is good to have in your organization, you can keep those policies. But now, what is the standard template of writing these policies? In a law, we have seen there is a template. Here also there is a template. It always start with the same purpose and the scope. We will first write the purpose. What is the purpose of this policy? What is the objective and who are covered? Whether policy applies to certain set of people, how it is. Then same thing like a labor law, definitions, any jargons, any terms what you are using, you have to clarify in the definitions. Then policy statement, a summary of policy main point. Here we give a policy statement. We need to ensure that whether if this policy is linked to any labor law, if in case, mention that. Then procedure and guidelines, same like labor laws. We will write a responsibilities, employee responsibility, managerial responsibility, HR responsibility, any resources that is available to support employee and manager in relation to the policy, that we will clarify. We will write how the records related to the policy will be maintained. We will attach any annexure, any forms, like for a leave, what is the form has to be used, and that in that policy itself has to be there in the annexure. And approvals, that's the standard template. So let's see how the template goes. Let's say it's a recruitment policy, the purpose, scope, the definitions, policy statement, responsibilities, procedure. Like for recruitment, how the job requisition will happen, posting will happen, screening will happen, interview will happen, selection will happen, onboarding will happen, whether it is related to any labor laws. As for recruitment, there is for minimum wages we have. For compliance, we need to mention whether it is related to any labor laws. If it is, just mention the specific name of the labor law. Otherwise, say that our policy is related with all relevant labor laws. And if this policy will not be followed, then what will happen? How the enforcement will happen? What will be the corrective actions that will be taken? And support, resources, whom to contact related to this, what are the resources that will be used for this policy, any recruitment software, any ATS, any job posting platform, or how the JDs will look like, how the sourcing will happen, internal, external, that all you can write it in detail. This is just I'm showing you the template. In the procedures you can write everything in detail. Review and revision, how the communication will happen, how the documentation will happen related to this policy, means if someone is interviewed, how the interview notes will be taken, how the job posting will happen, how the job requisition will be done, how the evaluation will be done, and then policy approval, signature. This is the standard template. The only difference here is the documentation, support and resource, and procedures in detail. Rest, the standard template that we have to follow, that remains the same across, even if it is a law policy or other HR policies. By these two videos, we have understood how to frame the policies. What is the standard template to frame the policy, whether it's of law or other HR policies. Although I'm going to attach a list of different policies templates in the description box, you can download from there. If you need any help, I'm always available on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me. There are standard forms format that we should follow. Again, let's recap. Don't make a paragraphs in the policy. Put the revision date, put the approval, what is the purpose, what is the scope, means who is covered, and then the rest of the template, and then the rest points as per template will go. I hope you have liked these two videos. If yes, hit like, share, comment. Do visit our website www.theskilldeck.com for upcoming courses. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I will be meeting you in the next video. By then, take care. Bye bye.